Hello, it's Soul. I'm returning with an updated guide to crafting orders. It's a feature that's new to World of Warcraft, Dragonflight, that lets top-end crafters connect with other players to make and obtain higher-end stuff, gear, whatever. A few weeks back, I went over the basics of what this here menu does, and if you've never seen this before, then you probably want to check out the earlier guide first and then come right on back. Today, though, I'm going to cover more advanced topics, specifically on getting top-end gear or items while saving you as much gold as possible. We're going to jump right into that, but before that, if you don't mind, like the video, spread it around because I hope this really helps out a lot of people. Subscribe for more content, and let's go. This, as you may know already, is the crafting order menu. As you learned over the past few weeks, you can request just about anything that crafters can make this season by plugging in materials and creating these public orders. Or if you know someone in your guild or someone personally or on trade chats, if you know that they can make a thing, then you can make a more targeted request with the added benefit of setting a minimum quality requirement because y'all are special and we only want what's best for our wallet. Crafted items are made from materials gathered from the ground and or reagents also made by these materials found from the ground. These materials and reagents have ranks 1, 2, and 3, and you may have noticed that thanks to the gathering community, the majority of materials that you find and use are at a rank of 2. To the point where the cost of rank 1 and 2 materials is almost even. So why is that exactly? It's because skilled gatherers don't really see rank 1 materials anymore. Skilled gatherers also gather more per node than unskilled crafters do. So as a result, the prices of these materials is roughly the same. This affects the rest of the market as a consequence, as now it's also much easier to craft rank 2 reagents with these rank 2 materials. So what does this mean, really? It means that rank 2 items on the auction house, like potions or leg armor enchants, are extremely accessible. Rank 1 gathered and crafted items are not just inferior, they're less common. So TLDR, don't buy rank 1 materials or reagents like ever. If you happen to have them, don't use them, just try to sell them on the auction house while you still can, just stick to rank 2s. So how does this translate into crafting orders? Now let's say you want to have an epic item made. You've gathered up all the materials, hopefully rank 2s like I said, but you're also pretty broke. Like, you can't really afford some of the high commissions that you see on trade chats, and I'll talk more on that later. The dirty truth is that while crafters would love to make the extra money, a lot of them are really just looking for work. So if you want to submit a public crafting order, use rank 2 materials and reagents if you're using those, and throw in whatever commission you want. Like, honestly, it could probably be a silver and it's gonna get picked up. Public crafting orders can be a little wild, depending on your realm, of course. There's a lot of people looking for work, and right now there's no way to filter out unskilled crafters to ensure that your crafted good is decent. But there sort of is a way too. Now in the case of gear, the most that you can do is add item level, change the stats, and or add embellishments. And this not only lets you customize your gear a little bit, it also filters out anyone who has not specialized deep enough into crafting from messing around with your gear. This obviously doesn't guarantee the quality of your gear, but it does help to prevent the worst possible outcome, which would be like a rank 1 craft. The TLDR from this is, once again, to use rank 2 materials, but to also add at least 1 optional reagent and then, well, go cheap. Now though, let's talk about how to obtain great crafted gear while spending as little as possible. Now for this, we turn to trade chat. It's a realm of chaos and uncertainty and opportunity as well. Your objectives here are 1, to find a crafter who can do the work that you want, 2, to do it at high quality, and 3, do it for like real cheap. Your results are going to vary depending on your realm as always, but with a bit of persistence and patience, you're likely to find a great deal. Skilled crafters who have been playing since the start of this expansion have by now fully mastered at least a little something. Like take me for example, who relentlessly leveled up the ability to make a great shield. As the client, you don't have to know this information, but knowing the crafter's side of the business is very important. So as a perfect shield crafter, I can make a starting epic piece of gear at pretty good quality even without any good materials at all. If my crafting skill, which is the sum of my skills and specializations and parts used, is greater than the recipe difficulty, we can produce a rank 5 item. Now here's what's cool. Even if I were to infuse this with a concentrated primal infusion, which adds even more to the recipe difficulty, I can still make this at max quality thanks to Inspiration. Inspiration is a random proc. In my case, it's 40%, and it adds bonus skill. As you can see here, an Inspiration proc will add a bonus 77 to my crafting skill, which is more than enough to make this craft at a rank 5, even with the worst quality materials. If you have trade chat open, no doubt you're seeing more than a few offers from crafters to make stuff. And right now we're going to deconstruct what some of these terms mean. So this druid here is looking for work and can make rare profession equipment with a 35% chance, that's Inspiration, that it'll get to a rank 5. And they can also do armor with a 43% chance it'll rank 5. These days, Inspiration is the meta. It's kind of like gambling, but what these crafters do is have you, the client maybe, submit a personal order with rank 2 materials. Not 1s, not 3s, but 2s. And you can set a minimum expectation of a rank 4 craft, because that's what you'll end up with if the proc doesn't happen. Now, if they're spec'd right, all you need to do is pay attention to that percentage chance they offer, and then shop for the highest percentage and the lowest fee. On the other hand, you can offer the crafter an even higher commission and tell the crafter, hey, you know what, why don't you buy the rank 2 materials and just recraft this thing yourself instead of having me resubmit parts over and over again. Here's another example. This Death Knight is a blacksmith who can make good one-handed weapons and a mining tool, and can craft item level 418s with a 41% chance for it to be a rank 5, otherwise again, it's going to be a rank 4. Now, let's go behind the scenes again at what the crafter is looking at so you can understand better at what's going on. This time I'm showing you a recraft for a shield. It's infused to become a heroic level item, and I also added a missive and armor spikes, all of which raise the difficulty of the craft. But with my Inspiration, I still have a 40% chance to make it a rank 5 even though I'm using low quality alloy. In fact, as long as I'm using rank 2 materials and reagents, it doesn't even matter if I'm trying to make this shield mythic quality. Inspiration is going to get me there. The point that I'm trying to drive here is that you can save a ton of gold by avoiding rank 3 parts or prepaying the crafter so they can use their own rank 2 parts. At least at the moment, rank 3 parts are just not worth the trouble while Inspiration is so effective. With a 40 or so % chance, the odds are in your favor that you can successfully roll for a rank 5 as opposed to throwing down a ton more gold for a guaranteed craft. Now that's why Inspiration is the current meta. The price of materials just lets it happen. Using the most recent price of Primal Molten Alloy, rank 3s are more than 6 times the amount of rank 1s or 2s. But if I have a 40% chance to get a rank 5 with the cheaper alloy, I'm probably going to want to take my chances. In the long run though, the cost of rank 3 materials is bound to get a little bit closer to the other ranks. When it does happen, people are going to be slightly more choosy as to whether they want to take their chances or not. There's a bit more to it than that, but for now, rolling the dice is just way cheaper. Your best practice would be to find a crafter who only wants you to submit rank 2 parts and asks for a commission that's most comfortable for you, or if they're willing to take on the burden of using their own mats and you just throw them a little bit of extra money. The most important tip that I can give here though is that you talk to them. You just ask questions. They're not NPCs. They're people who are, interested in your business. If they ask you to resubmit an order with cheaper parts or even more expensive parts, ask them why. It's an honest question between two players who want to walk away with a little something. The crafters are the experts. Let them do the talking until you fully understand what you're getting into. Now, if all this sounds complicated, it's because it is. And part of the design is for the community, myself included, to help work together and build this economy. So to summarize this slightly more advanced guide, when doing any crafting orders, use rank 2 materials and reagents. Get into the mindset of inspiration procs and seek out that stat from a reputable person on trade chat. Now, if you prefer using public orders, you're taking more risks, but you can mitigate it a little bit by adding missives and embellishments where applicable for a better chance at least like a rank 3, maybe 4 epic. Hopefully you're coming away from this with a better understanding on how crafting orders work and what to look for to save some gold. And if so, hit the like button. And if not, hit the like button anyway and ask questions down in the comments because we're all here to help each other out. Also subscribe for more content and I hope to catch you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.